As I've taken a few days to process the information becoming available concerning the recent Donald Trump assassination attempt, I could not help but feel the need to speak on a growing problem we are facing within our country. A problem that, in my opinion, is in many cases the root cause behind many recent acts of social and politically based violence. This attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump being one such example. So, what exactly is that problem? Well, that problem is the political strategy of rage baiting the public by purposely lying to them so to create a deeply emotional attachment to the party line. We all know that activists and politicians love to embellish the things they claim, or in many cases, just flat out lie about them as the means by which they would cause others to become emotionally invested in their cause. But what has become a major force in the creation of deep anger and anxiety within much of our younger generation is how these activists and politicians are purposely using the tactic of rage baiting to stir up the unwavering emotional investment that they seek from the people. And that is not a good thing, as you can see how many have become incapable of controlling their political rage. How many times have we seen tweets or TikToks by those who say they would love to see family members die because they are on the opposite side of the political aisle? Or like the tweets we have seen posted in reference to the recent attempt to assassinate Donald Trump, wherein they say things like, next time don't miss, or too bad the shooter missed, maybe this will spawn a copycat shooter. Or how about the heinous things that many others, like this demented podcaster, says concerning the innocent firefighter, husband, and father who was killed simply for being at the Trump rally? And shout out to Piers Morgan for this episode, and I'll definitely leave a link in the description for you so you can check it out.
Okay, but I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but I would say this is the type of person that the internet has broke their brain, thus leaving them with very little empathy for their co-human. I mean, a good, decent father is now dead because of this. He's had his brains blown out because he was defending his wife and daughter. I would hope that you have a little empathy for that.
Let me jump in there because we have a clip of what Destiny has said about that very thing. Let's listen to this.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump, fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay, just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away, whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am, 100%.
Now, I apologize for allowing the language he uses, but I just felt that it was necessary to demonstrate the depth of how absent the presence of basic human compassion has become within him due to the mental and emotional effects of political rage baiting. How is it that more and more there is becoming this absence of common sense or simple decency within people that they would reject the mature control a rational person should have over their rage, whereby they would not say or do the most horrific things? After all, what if those who are angry with these people were to do to them those horrible things that they want to happen to others? Would they still feel that conduct like that is justified? Of course not. And look, I understand how being emotionally invested in a cause is extremely helpful for the advancement of the cause. However, I also understand that emotion has two distinct sides to it. One being that which is good, and it brings about positive benefit, and the other being that which is bad and produces only harmful results. So when we have a political system that has devolved into a system of purpose deception as its primary means to specifically target the emotional reaction of rage within people, then the only result we can expect from it is that which is harmful towards people. The danger of activists and politicians using rage baiting tactics because they know its effectiveness is that much of our society, especially our younger generations, lack the learned discipline of truth-seeking and self-control. Too many people simply believe what activists, politicians, mainstream media, and internet outlets tell them without question. Yet being someone who understands that you just cannot easily trust everything that you are told, I decided a long time ago that anything I come across that affects me, whether it be mentally or emotionally, I will go online and research it for myself so I could know the whole truth. And I do that because I've also learned that in the understanding of what is actually true, I am more capable of having the matured, appropriate reaction I should have. So why is it that all of us should have this desire to know the truth? Why is truth so important? And why is it that activists and politicians don't want us to know the truth? Well, the answer to these questions is simply because truth will always lead us away from the trauma of false assumption and into the balance of a fact based perspective. The people discovering what is true is what these extreme activists and politicians fear more than anything else, because they know that once the truth is exposed, they would no longer have the power to emotionally manipulate people to vote the way they want them to vote. So, to provide a perfect example of what it is I am saying, let us look at what happens when someone does not fall in line with the expectation of activists and politicians to be uninformed of what is actually true. During the first day of the Republican National Convention, a very popular model named Amber Rose, a black woman that once dated Kanye West, presented a speech which Van Jones, a CNN senior political commentator, claimed was quote unquote the most dangerous speech for the Democratic Party. Now, he made this comment live on CNN during their coverage of the Republican convention. So, what was it that she said that was so dangerous? Well, according to a Fox News article dated July 16, 2024, she spoke about how her Trump supporting father challenged her to research for herself the former president's statements and policies outside of the media lens. She took up his challenge and became a Trump fan. She went on to be quoted by the article as saying that I realize Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. And this is exactly what those social justice activists, politicians, and biased media outlets do not want you to do. They do not want you to have a mind of your own. They do not want you to know the truth because then they cannot dictate your emotional reaction based upon the lies that they want you to believe. Any message given by a person with a large platform that validates how the truth can change one's perspective will always cause these manipulators to go into full panic mode. Here is what Van Jones was quoted by the article as saying during the live coverage of the Republican convention. That is a young woman of color. She's describing the experience a lot of people have, feeling that maybe if you're around too many liberals, you might get criticized too much, or you might not be able to speak your mind. And she spoke to it really well. Referring to the rest of the CNN panel, he added, and she's way more famous than any of us up here. I'm going to tell you that. Way more famous. And so, to the extent that these guys are trying to bust up our coalition, that was a bunker buster right there. So, clearly, you can see how the idea of people investigating what the truth actually is concerning anything that they are told to believe causes a great concern for those who are purposely attempting to manipulate you. And that, because you remaining ignorant, is the source of their power to control your vote. Regardless of who is saying what, if we were to all make the effort to discover what is actually true concerning anything that affects us, then I believe there would be less stress and anxiety in our lives because through our discovering the truth, we would equip ourselves to no longer allow others to so easily emotionally manipulate us. And as a secondary benefit, we would also create the necessity for activists, politicians, and the media to become more honest with us. Wouldn't that be great? In this recent presidential debate, both sides at times either strongly embellished or flat out lied in many of the things they said. I expected nothing less. However, nothing they said had any power to cause me anxiety because the ability to fact check things has become way too easy with the internet. The discipline we need so we can indeed discover what the truth actually is when we fact check, it is crucial to not just look at what our side wants us to look at. We must have the courage to look beyond what we want to believe if we are to find what is actually true. I have told others that in my life, I have learned that a person of integrity will never fear the truth, even if it reveals that I am the one who is wrong. And this is the formula by which I validate those things that I believe to be true. You see, I accept that a person who wants to be right in what they believe will always base their beliefs upon the foundation of what established, proven data, fact, and evidence reveals to be true. While a person who does not care about being right in what they believe will always rely upon feelings, opinions, and propaganda as the foundation of what it is that they believe. Said person will always be afraid of the truth and will do everything in their power to avoid having to accept any proven data, fact, and evidence that they know is undeniable to a logical, rational mind. So, to test the validity of one's belief, applying this criteria is the simplest way. Yet the reality is that we are living in a time when people, especially our younger generations, are being purposely manipulated into a continual emotional rage because of how the media, activists, and politicians are rage baiting them. And because of this purpose manipulation, people are doing horrible acts of violence that many others would consider as being justified, because they also allow their mental and emotional well being to be traumatized by these purposed manipulators. We need to stand against this. We need to understand that this accepted system of rage baiting is harming innocent people and our society, especially our younger generation. We need to realize the importance of reinstilling within our system the foundation of honesty and truth. Otherwise, things will only get worse for us all. If we do not put a stop to how these people are callously manipulating the public for their own political, social causes, then what kind of future will our children have to live in? I cannot believe that any parent will want a future for their children that is filled with an even deeper level of stress and anxiety than what we have now. So, for their sakes, now is the time to instill within our children, by our example, the importance of being one who will value truth over popular activism and politics. So that's it for me today. Please don't forget to punch that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments, and share the video with others if you agree with my thoughts. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a new video. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button, as doing that would help me to grow the channel. My current goal is to hit 3,000 subs, so every subscription helps, and I can't tell you just how much your support would mean to me. For those of you who have already subscribed, once again, I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. So, as always, I'd just like to say God bless you, and thanks so much for taking the time to listen. Until next time.